When we try to describe seed syllables, how difficult it is, you really have to experience it.
When are we going to get better at being human beings?
All seeds have value, even if not all seeds are planted now.
So it's speaking to the unspoken.
So it's a real multi-layered collaborative exchange.
What are we willing to risk?
We are the architects.
My name is Chrissie or in Gaelic, Caristiona. I came into this project really through a challenge that came to me right at the beginning of the pandemic. And I received a telephone call from Aaron Stern.
Well, there I was, as all of us were, in the midst of a very challenging time of 2020, the time of the pandemic. And we were watching the chaos of the political world and the uprisings and resurgence of the undercurrents of racism that live in this country so extremely. And so I felt, well, here's the unraveling. Where's the turning? What are we turning toward? Is it something that's better than it is now?
And he said, Chrissie, there's something going to arise from this time we're in. And I'd love to see some creative process to be envisioned, to perhaps capture what is going to arise. To be in lockdown, to be sitting by myself and reflecting, I realized that I could not do it on my own. So hence the call to Dear Meena.
My name is Meena Natarajan. I am one of the principal artists of this project.
Meena and Chrissie and the grounding of their experience, their relationship, was an invitation to me to step into a bubble of respect and love and vulnerability.
It was a time where everyone was in quite, I would say, deep grief over just the state of the world and the pandemic and the fact that many friends and family members were dying alone. And then, of course, there was the horrendous murder of Mr. George Floyd.
Living in Minneapolis and living 1 mile down from when the uprising happened, one of the things that happened, I think, not only in Minneapolis, but also across the world, was that systemic racism became completely opened up. You couldn't turn your face and your mind away from that.
How were these times through the pandemic and the uprisings and just the world being turned inside out and upside down and the veils lifting? How were we being impacted? And we got into these really deep conversations and then went, we need to open this up to more people. Because this project, we knew, had to be based in care, trust, and relationship, moving at the speed of trust. So we each came up with a list of people. We both knew that these people were doing extraordinary work. We had great admiration for them and just felt that they would be the perfect partners in a way.
We just told them it was an art project. It's called Seeds Syllables. Here are some questions. They said, okay.
Being invited to have a meaningful new conversation with somebody that I didn't know seemed kind of perfect for that particular time, in the summer of 2020.
I think we had many participants say that it was a solace to be talking, even although it was on Zoom.
I will not promise you anything, only that my heart will be open. I will hold a space to dump our ideas on and hash it out. And even if we had nothing in the pantry, we could still make a delicious soup.
What we did really was talk to people, right? It was a conversation. It was not an interview. It was Chrissie, myself, one person that Chrissie brought and one person that I brought, talking to each other on Zoom.
But I want to support, encourage, examine, explore, develop methodologies that expand the light.
During this conversation, we provided a series of prompts, and sometimes there was no need for prompts. They just offered up their wisdom.
Admission, so even the idea of what a seed promises is multiple in what it can offer.
One of the prompts was from Octavia Butler. It took a pandemic to make some of the people know they could change.
To do it on Zoom was a marriage of our most ancient technologies with what was meeting the current moment to allow us to connect.
Full thoughts and ideas or sentences are the stitching of all four of us.
It gave me an opportunity to reflect on maybe feelings that I didn't initially acknowledge existed. I just want to lift it up and give gratitude.
Intimacy, profundity, truth, they're all possible in virtual space too.
Trusting what we were putting into their hands was really important.
And I feel that that element of trust provided for amazingly vulnerable conversations.
You inspire me so much with your centeredness and everything that you've lived and done.
What's the next step? I mean, there's an immense amount of possibility, right? You have 16 conversations. What is special about these conversations? What can be gleaned from these conversations? And what do we want to do with it? What if we were to make these into poems?
Here we go. They went away and took the conversation and made it into something else.
So the process and the way we did the work guided us.
So we have individuals' words shifting into these collaborative poems where the words are mixed together.
Lifting the clouded veil to reveal the bold mark of inequity, so we can see those who have been kept in the shadows.
Witness the vulnerable.
Witness.
So in that sense, it's an interesting process because it's taking something that's raw material for artistic practice and then someone else changes it into an artistic practice.
At this point, the world had opened up again after the pandemic lockdown, and we felt called to come together in person. So we envisioned 2 gatherings in the places we now live, one in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and the other in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Inherently, I think all my work has been very place-based. I've always been very, very aware of that land, what grows there, the animals that live there, and the stories that the land evokes.
We identify ourselves with the land. It is who we are. It carries that history for us.
Creating something for the well-being of the world that we lived in, that we wanted to leave something behind, and we wanted to clear the land to keep clearing our spaces.
What I was a part of was an offering to the land here.
For that, I pour water and say, Ashe. Ashe.
We are seeds scattered wide.
Well, the land is central. I'm of Ghanaian Gehaga and French ancestry, and the connection to the land, especially at this moment in time, in the moment in human history, our connection to the land is so central. And so to be invited on that particular piece of land, close to the site where Mr. Floyd was murdered and what followed.
So it's thinking of the land in the past, not ignoring the histories.
Especially here in Santa Fe.
This is Tewa lands that we're sitting on. They're stolen lands. So we need to recognize the histories that have been covered up. It's so important. So important.
Nothing is sacred till you assign sacredness to it. And I feel like the kinds of practices that we had, starting with Indigenous land acknowledgement, immediately takes you over the threshold to a different mental space. And you create a sacred space almost immediately. We said that we wanted to do a water ritual.
And we thought, let's have some bowls made.
One bowl was made from clay from the Mississippi River that I brought with me.
They made the second bowl out of Rio Grande clay.
Creating something with intention so that we have a representation from that land in the space. Those containers became sacred, the water became sacred, space became deeply sacred.
And it might have been that we had just created these poems, and that might have been it. But I think we really felt the words were so powerful. We needed to speak them out. They couldn't be held static. They need to resonate outwards.
And so we came upon the idea of incantations as a part of the project.
A billion iridescent butterflies.
A billion iridescent butterflies.
The truth, there is no time to waste. The truth, we must be the heart of our earth.
My grandmother lived to be 85. She never lived.
Because I'm being asked to participate in an incantation, I get to feel mine and everyone else is in the circle's divinity.
It impacted me very deeply just to listen to those words embodied from 4 conversations, how this incantation, a poetic verse got created. So that was a vocal narrative. Then when we did gestures, it became embodied, and then we saw bodies, different bodies doing it and reading it. And it was such an intergenerational space. And the music was we just stitched it together.
I feel like one of the gestures that our group came up with, for me, totally encapsulates the process that we went through yesterday, which was, one of the movements was having our hands on our heart and then having this kind of wave that was growing out and then was brought back here. And that's what the whole process felt like to me.
Take a breath, take a breath.
What we always do, I think, Meena, in our projects is really attempting to build a community of care.
So for me, communities of care is also about a liberatory practice, the spirit of Ubuntu, which is like, I am because you are. All our liberations are bound together. To see that, to see the full extent of each other's humanity is something that is so necessary for us to create a community of care.
It's like the container, right? That's what curation is. You create a container to bring together people and ideas and to make sure that everybody's well taken care, curator care.
And there can be a little moment of messiness in there to hold it. But if you're willing to sit there and go back to that awareness, that's where the magic happens. It's part of the practice of being in community in a sensitive way. The foundation of the project is really steeped in relationship and trust.
I would describe Seeds Syllables as a community-based, participatory project that is a performative ritual.
I just felt that this is the world I want to live in, and these are the people I want to be with. I just wish our lives were like that every day.
There's something really magical that happened in community as a result of us all coming together in this way.
It touched many people and brought many people together in deep communion.
I think the spirituality of it, the emotionality of it, the words, I think we were present to a consciousness which we could not have created alone. And it was like everybody's emotional truth.
Their intention was to do something that would transform the lived experience of these mostly artists who were engaged in dialogue during the pandemic into the material of art, and I think they succeeded.
A basic foundational learning model that sits behind this project is, again, reflecting on the impact of experience.
What do we want to learn from this experience that we're making together? And then at the end, or as the thing unfolds, you ask yourself, did we?
It takes a long time for it to have an impact. So in 100 years from now, ask me that question.
It just told me that we are in the right path, with the right people, doing the right thing. If we come together with this vision and root ourselves strongly on the earth and have the power and ferocity to imagine a future, we'll be okay.
This may be the last time you see me, but hopefully we'll see each other again and again and again and again.
And seed syllables can, I guess, be seeds, and we'll see what grows.
Take a breath. Take a breath, let it fall, split open the shell, pull light from dark, shake loose the screen. We are seeds scattered wide, we do not forget. Love transcends time. Take a breath. Be in your heart. Each word a prayer for the earth, a prayer for us here. Ask ancestors for help. They thought about us when they sent their love forward. Now this is our task. Take a breath, let it fall, split open the shell, pull light from dark, shake loose this grief. We are seeds scattered wide, we do not forget.